So like definitely not the future operation right now is like basically as like finest foremost about the V7 like we are definitely turning on the radio with according to like the podcast we like for the since like Boratica and Leora and all of them are like for the might have definitely been well prepared for like the amplitude that on like the final on that they thought and that about the trying to for them to like get their upper hand straight away when the time reaches 7 like basically on top of like cutting off the power to like that threshold and that we're trying to get the advantage against like the final group on top of that like by turning on the radio like the final group will be able to like hear like the steps or like the movement of like Sorapika and Pro as they will be attacking like the final group. That would be like the precise role that that's the type of radio that Dior has right now turned on will be serving. That will be like the role that radio will be serving the purpose of definitely and the generation. Okay, so like something I'm looking very enriching right now with like Pakunoda showing up to like the office perfectly on time without not even Pakunoda realizing that I'm delivering right now. I'm delivering a right before it will be like 7 o'clock, like right before like the very last second I'm delivering like Pakunoda for the deciding to like touch either Bond or Killua. And I'm delivering in that very last second like Pakunoda like he able to like read like the memory so I got killed and thrown it straight away. Quickly, Pakunoda openly realizing that like an ambush attack by let's say news article about to take place like in 1 second, like in 7 o'clock, and basically that like Gon and Killua are part of that ambush attack. Basically, Pakunoda realizing that at that very last second before it turns 7 o'clock, it's definitely not the religion. And for the Pakunoda at that point is like but only getting shocked and straight away shouting like at Chrollo and revealing that basically an ambush attack they are about to be attacked. Like so, like that would be like Pakunoda will be precisely doing that at like the very last second. That's like the scenario that I'm considering, and that and at that single second passing and like precisely that way like considering precisely Pakunoda would be shouting at the last seconds. Like the entire of the fandom group solely due to that shout of Pakunoda would be like who were having like who would be like until then would be having their guard down would be like instantly within just that single 1 second would be raising their guard like the scenario that I'm considering and straight away like the single second passing and basically like the power being cut off and like the entire whole turning starts with like the scenario that I'm only talking right now and my considering. Okay, so like the cinema presented I'm writing right now, like Pakunoda is like about to like touch ball Killua, like I'm considering that very last second, like I'm considering like one Leore being forced to like basically like totally throw his path, like to sailing there for ambush attack mission. So solely to save that mission and I have to get that the final paper. I'm considering for Leorio, like totally making a scene and basically totally picking a fight with like the final like as if like the euro have that and euro putting on that as with pay as if like it's uh, uh, someone who like has absolutely no idea as to like who final group are like basically about their identity and basically euro is just so casually acting as if like he and basically totally putting on a fake act and picking up fight with like maybe Barcelona it's like the scenario who are like kind of like fight with like Barcelona it's like the scenario where I'm supporting Barcelona and like the entirety of the kind of group members like gather there it's like the scenario that I'm supporting like through war like I'm supporting Euro like totally acting like some and basically um, so like unfortunately, totally correct. Like it will be like Leo creating become fight and basically proof for like Leo picking up fight with like the final moment of that will be gathered there without any provocation at all. Like the scenario that I'm picking and that simplifying that in a fine for like Gon and Killua to not have like the memory that's what for Pakunoda like the scenario that I'm picking. But like as Leo would be like uh, making like a scene like those different things like Floro, check like how Floro like that so still while in like the in like a huge hall filled with people had basically Floro had basically with that depth itself had quickly like taken down like a neon basically like got a neon like unconscious like after suffering like in like the similar manner like Floro with like that absolute step like sister that basically like Leori as well with that just after getting struck by that super attack like from Floro like basically turning unconscious and basically like Floro with like that was still basically once again, and that will be that absolute shock for like Jordan and Kiddo seeing Leo like get attacked in such a manner. And I'm considering that as just maybe I'm considering that Toro basically that carrying Leo and putting Leo into one of those chairs as if like Leo had some sort of health issue. Like Loro trying to frame it in such a manner, and then I'm considering Loro returning back to the Pakunoda and all the other remaining kind of members are, and basically then Loro basically telling Pakunoda to like actually do it, and like about the friend Pakunoda touching Gon and Killua, and basically Pakunoda asking the questions, and it's like yeah, the very moment, that very second that Pakunoda would be gaining the memories of Gon and Killua and realizing about like the ambush attack. As to like how they're right with like the changes around about like the ambush attack that like right now about to happen on like the kind of road at that precise portal at 7 o'clock, like precisely at that well precise moment, like Paganada will be gaining all this memory still before Paganada would be able to like shout it out like Flora and like the power like, being 7 o'clock and the power uh, being cut off. It's like and like the Korakia of the campus are like beginning of that very instant. It's like the scenario that I'm looking. So like I'm looking it to be Pakanada alone, like that's like the to that I'm looking. So it to be Pakanada alone being like the only kind of member who have who at that point would have gained all the knowledge. But like after like how exactly even Korapika along with like Gonakil are even planning on like the strategy for this exact ambush attack when the lights turn on black and all that like especially Pakanoda alone like being able to like gain all that knowledge but like won't be able to like shout out to Chloro and Double. So like my personal impressions are like through definitely Melody would be like standing most likely outside like the border. That's definitely my personal impression. At like a safe distance where like final troops won't be able to like detect like Melody's profile. But like at the same time like I'm also trying Melody like Melody's like superior ability to superior hearing abilities like Melody would be hearing all the conversations that's like taking place in that precise hotel before like it turns 7 o'clock. So like a Melody would have only third and might be like constantly like updating Kurapika about like all the happening thing like that. So like so like that's really my presentation impression right now that I'm switching on to basically for like the for one six turns like seven like basically for like the power to be cut off like for like the bottom to turn off but like Kurapika by then would have like Melody would have what all the happenings like taking place everything in that that will be taking place in that hotel including like Chrollo telling in like a simultaneous like instant manner like delivering that Melody will be reporting all the happenings of the hotel to like Kurapika about like how like then ordering like Pakunoda to like read Gon and Kid of set memories and basically how like Leora definitely would be interfering and that way like delaying starting time and like how Leora did that and basically like even after that like Chloro and that way like Leorio probably most likely getting that steadily attacked by Chloro and then be getting that way you're not only ending up being able to like be able to like on report or I think that's the fighting or like the ambush attack that way like Leorio getting sidelined like Melody was reporting that as well and then after that like Flora once again asking like Pakanoda to like basically once again like read like try to basically read like the memory of that God and still and basically like Sorapika would be like instantaneously would be like updated about all these happenings so like Melody is definitely my cousin Graham. So like Sorapika would be also checking the time and like Sorapika would be figuring that basically before at that point Sorapika's mind would be like precisely time her attack in such a manner that basically and I was literally coincidentally and in like a miraculous manner like I'm just looking like precisely the things to happen with like that absolute coordination where like precisely as Patanada will be only gaining that knowledge like the it being 7 o'clock and like the power turning off cutting off is definitely and the whole turn and that was definitely my preference. So Sorapika will be precisely like long if Haram to attack in such a manner that basically Sorapika would be precisely targeting Pakanada first and basically Sorapika's whole goal would be to like prevent Pakanada from shouting out from being able to like shout out and let Rolo and like the remaining kind of group members know about like all the memories and knowledge that she had gained through Killua and Gon's mind. It's like the scenario that I built. So that way, Sorapika potentially targeting Pakunoda first is like the scenario that I'm considering. That would be like the attempt that at least like that would be like the attempt that Kurapika would be making once like turns time as an about definitely my first targeting Pakunoda and trying to like attempt to Kurapika either like taking the life of succeeding in like taking straight away taking the like then like Kurapika straight away attacking Pakunoda and straight away succeeding in like taking the life of Pakunoda like 1% to the ramp or like Kurapika or me straight away trying to like attempt to like be silent Pakunoda maybe that not working out for therapy or like the other people that end of the break. Regardless, I'm just bringing it was really partner that will be like the first person that therapy will get targeting on it, seven. It's definitely my person to remember. Okay, so like definitely my person to remember right now as for like the precise reasons of like Hindua being able to like see right away in like the dark like let's like the outcome of like cut off like basically it will be precisely to that the unique that precise exact unique power according to like strategy that Kurapika might have already discussed and brainstorm with like Kindu and Swan and all of them like basically like using like the end condition like this will be one of like the power to be able to see in like the dark will be one of like the powers that Swan as well as Kindu might have gained through by keeping the end conditions on them. It's definitely my brain so the ability to like see right away in like the dark like would be like power that they have born and Kilo might have gained through such a manner solely for this moment to bring down the phantom. So just definitely not something to remember. So like the feeling of the Vegetarian position right now that like even though like Bonans you are like acting like the planet in the dark, like basically still able to bring like the strategy to probably backfire and able to bring like the backfire so there's like the change of to be entering into like the scene in the darkness it's within that professional people and would be like starting like once like for a only starting attack along with like so on and that will be the point when I'm delivering like for like definitely for like most likely the twist to happen with like the president of like Chrollo have like net stealing power ability. And the different Chrollo would have like through his like so far like journey as like the as part of like the fan group he might have Chrollo might have stolen like all sorts of like unique nen abilities and one among those nen abilities might be like the power to be able to like create light in that one. So definitely my very much. Especially because like Chrollo being like the head, the leader of like, the fan group might have definitely have that aspect need for such and then ability when way from that Laura himself might have already figured that like he needs like such and then ability to be able to like precisely create light in like darkness so that like especially because of like the Phantom Pro which are definitely even from like interesting parts like basically might have like been like might have definitely been like the main part of like their work would be like precisely like stealing all these like the rare items and basically selling it and basically making money in such a manner. So like they would have to go to all sorts of places that that are basically in like the dark areas and that wouldn't even be having like and sort of like light or anything like all sorts of like the Chrollo and might have traveled to all sorts of places like the world of like the kind of brand might have carried out all sorts of missions in like darkness conduct to this definitely my person to remember so like back then, but still back then, like how Flora might have and like the Panasonic's might have carried out those missions with precisely through Flora's just precise unique in energy that Flora might have even from like startup with like career at like the of the Panasonic's might have stolen from someone like this unique ability that through which like Flora would be able to like create like definitely my configuration and structure. So like I'm just trying without much delay, I'm just trying and I'm also trying to do precisely one like for Africa would be so that it is the same that I'm also covering. Flora would be like necessarily building out that precise main power to basically and that way creating like within that properly it's definitely my configuration. And that would be the point when like the entire strategy of Africa and Pro like they will totally backfiring. So this would be something that not even South Africa would be able to. This would be like a scenario that not even South Africa would be able to that foresee happen. Would have been able to at all foresee happening. That's definitely my position. Even while South Africa might have known that maybe knowing that Floro has that immense scaling power, that still South Africa might have never accepted, or neither even Hisoka might have never accepted, like to or to pocket such like and then power through like Floro to be able to like create light and dark. Definitely my position. So definitely, regardless of whether like Zoka is like totally part of this exact 7 o'clock ambush attack on like the kind of group plan like or not like the end of the party. Soka would be like still, even while being part of the clan group, might have never like feel like or other use this like technique and an ability through which like Loro be able to create like it might be a technique that Loro only might have had like the need to use in that before Hisoka had on missions that Loro did before like Hisoka might have joined like the final project of Lega production. So like that because Hisoka as well want to like aware of Loro have this kind of like the unique main ability and create like the system of the so and then I'm just looking like a Chrollo, this Kurapika fight, but still I'm just looking usually to Chrollo Prototi or and defeat that Kurapika. And basically, like without much experience struggle, I'm just looking like even though Kurapika will be giving it up everything, like still Chrollo will be like just too strong for Kurapika, that Chrollo will be with the offering and defeating Kurapika. And then like Kurapika will be trapped along with like Gon and Kidwa, and like, then the whole interrogation of Chrollo will be beginning only at that point. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring. So like that way, Kurapika being interrogated and fighting all sorts of like things about like Kurapika and her strategy and her powers and everything. But like I was supporting like maybe like it would be after like Toro would be like finding all that out. Yet like while Toro only countries continuing to like interrogation of Kurapika would be when number supporting like the next unexpected was happening with like when Toro would be like least treating him like Shizuoka showing up and we release Shizuoka because of Shizuoka's like entrance like precisely Hisoka, when they are purely making entrance into that hospital, like Hisoka still, with that approach, that Hisoka actually, like, free, go into as well as that sort of like it's another that I'm looking for. And eventually, at some point, I'm looking for that paper, like Zeno as well, Silla as well, he like show up into the screen and this will be, to only on the like the side of like thoracic cancer and like collectively that like not eventually solving and defeating like the random group in like the members in like that hotel the members different the Hisoka versus like Hisoka versus Flora fight will be happening at that point once like Hisoka will be making sense uh after like Borapia will be as born and Peru will be getting captured like the scenario that I'm really okay, so like definitely going to consider interaction right now with like Dawn and Killua attacking like the final group members in like the dark and failing like I'm like this would be some even now it will be like totally going according to like Kurapika's plan. It's definitely going to be relevant because like Kurapika would be well and fully aware of like the extreme gap in strength between like the current levels of Dawn and Killua when compared to like the current levels of strength of like the man. So it is like Kurapika has already fought up against Kuogi. Kurapika would be knowing that the extreme gap in like strength settling on the wedding. So like Kurapika, even Kurapika while starting with Gon and Killua, like most likely Kurapika might have told Gon and Killua that this will you won't be able to like defeat like the or take the life of like the bandit or even while trying to take them on in like the back, but like just do as much as damage as possible. Might be like because orders that strategy that Kurapika might have given to like Gon and Killua definitely might have been rainbow. So like that would be exactly what like Gon and Killua would be even attempting to do in like the dark definitely might have been even in the present like both Gon and Killua will be fully aware that like they no matter how much they try like even in the dark like they won't be able to like take the life of like any of like the final group would be one thing that's gone and Killua will be well fully aware of definitely my particular and prediction even with like them then probably making them conditions still they won't be able to like strong enough to like bring down like the kind of would be even in like while late in the morning the dark would be one thing that for might have even informed Donna and Kilo beforehand and so like Donna and Kilo will be currently well and fully aware of that the scenario like the current scenario with like Donna and Kilo are probably being captured by the final token like the even in like the dark like being like that would be like totally not an actual shock to like Donna and Kilo as definitely one of the relevant. So like this would be totally going according to like Kurapika's plan where like Kurapika might want to like really strike precisely at the moment when like the final group in like the dark are like on top of being in like the dark will be like totally distracted and will be having like the sole focus on God and Killua for it to at that precise moment for Sorapika to like strike along with like melody as well might be like Sorapika's plan definitely my considering and prediction. And definitely Kurapika would be ensuring that melody doesn't like strike from like the front lines of like the battlefield, but like I'm also bring melody, like Kurapika might have especially told melody to like basically always maintain that distance and like remotely attack from like the Panato while maintaining the distance. Definitely my concern. So like as for like how melody would be like participating in this fight, like I'm also thinking it would be through sounds, just like sounds and sound waves would be how like melody would be like participating into like this battlefield and attack, battle and attack, and that's the kind of from like a remote specifically the scenario that I'm looking for. The melody might be able to like, direct sound waves and basically all that, and basically intensify it, and that way maybe we would be able to like remotely attack a target with technically of the range. And maybe that would be how like melody would be joining in on this like fight against like final threat in the dark, especially scenario that I'm going to play. So like and I'm also bringing precisely right now I'm about to bring maybe like this is like the other person that I'm about to bring like Gon and Killua, Caspian and like Nobunaga and like Robert and Pakunoda all having their attention on precisely Gon and Killua like I'm also bringing Kurapika totally uh launching some actual ambush attack and basically on all of them injected us using like Kurapika's like off the chain and basically um Kurapika most likely bringing down or like taking out most likely maybe like but I'm also preferring like even that strategy of Kurapika as well to like totally fail. I'm also preferring even in the dark like according to like Kurapika's ambush strategy which I'm also preferring Kurapika has recently appeared in like taking part in our play below. It's definitely my personal favorite. Like, specifically before like Kurapika would be able to like take any other kind of member type in the dark and also bring most likely explore bringing out of like unique ability and creating life and that way like the game being over for like temporarily currently for like those the teams like what we are going to do and the other select scenarios that I'm playing right now on what to do. Okay, so like that need my percentage interaction right now, but like even after like that I'm going to do I like the kind of realizing Floro out of what I'm missing like I'm trying Floro might have gone nothing precisely at the moment. Like it turned 7 o'clock and like the powers were confirmed in the hotel. It definitely my percentage. Floro might have been definitely for up target precisely for the 7 o'clock and the attack and definitely gone as well as Killua might have been like the decoy to totally distract like the remaining fan group members. Is definitely my consideration and prediction. So definitely what Kurapika might have done might have been like according to like Kurapika's well thought out strategy, like Kurapika might have totally precisely might have been patiently waiting to precisely strike when like the clock turns 7 and like precisely like together melody or like the other bodyguard front of Kurapika that might have cut off like the power. And straight away Kurapika at the moment like the moment like the light were off that basically Kurapika might have precisely stealthily sent out a chain precisely targeting Chrollo and basically might have precisely Kurapika might have precisely used like the chain to like basically shut Chloro up and basically like Kurapika might have imprisoned Chloro with like the chain straight away. It might have been what might have happened and Kurapika might have exactly like how Kurapika had basically pulled Wogan away and captured Wogan earlier, like basically using Kurapika's chain, then chain like different like the similar format like Kurapika might have precisely pulled away Chloro from like that precise from all the remaining fandom group members. Previously when the power turned off, but the only difference might would be like this time she Kurapika did that with like that absolute stealth while also covering like a Chloro's face as well as the chain, hence like Chloro not being able to like let his like remaining fan of members straight away know that he has been captured. With like Chloro only that way being unable to like shout out and let them know. Definitely my positive hence that would be like the percent and all this will be totally going according to like what Kurapika's plan is definitely like so like I'm considering specifically once like Kurap have learned that like Chloro's like the leader of the planet at that point itself like it might have been obvious for Kurapika that like so taking down, bringing down Chloros like of like the highest should be of like the highest priority. Like, they would definitely do the strongest to like definitely with that whole goal and since he's like the leader, like basically if like Chrollo is like even if Sorapika might also be thinking that even if Sorapika dies while without being able to like fully destroy like the planet of like still if Sorapika is able to die still if, even before Sorapika dies if Sorapika is able to take Chrollo's life then like with like the leader of like the planet of gone like basically the fan of would be like totally getting uncoordinated and there would be absolutely no one to like leave the fan of program that way like the fan of might automatically might end up just getting disbanded would be what also for Afghan thinking. So like currently the highest biggest priority for Afghan we precisely to take all of life is definitely my working reimbursement. So I'm considering like Chloro right now Kurapika dragging Flora out with her chain and basically I'm considering maybe like exactly like how Kurapika might be so according to Kurapika's strategy like exactly like how Kurapika had taken Wogan's life and those different Kurapika trying to like pull out that very same strategy. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring. It's like a totally different occasion, but like Kurapika might have taken like role of with like her change. It's definitely not the good. So like they are going to bring Kurapika totally trying to like take Chloro's life the same way she took like Wogan's life. And at that point I was bring Chloro not being able to like do anything at all to like save himself. But like I'm bring at that point would be when like totally Hisoka like Hisoka totally being acting totally extremely overconfident and Hisoka really showing up to that precise location where like Kurapika and Flora would be and basically before Flora the right at the very last second that Kurapika would be able to take the whole of life like exactly like how she took Logan's life like really at that very last second Hisoka potentially showing up and Hisoka being totally acting totally overconfident and totally cutting off like the chain of Sorapik and freeing Chloro, like the scenario that I was there. And so Hisoka would be totally wanting that back. The one versus one battle against like Chloro that Hisoka have been like so far, like have been like totally looking forward to. It's definitely one of the things. So like so that extreme overconfidence, Hisoka totally actually believing that like Hisoka will be able to like square off in like an actual fair one versus one battle against like Chloro. Hisoka would be like strong enough to be able to like totally over and Chloro did that extreme outcomes the practice of will be having. And hence, due to that extreme outcomes, Zoka totally interfering and Zoka totally freeing Chrollo and then Zoka like challenging Chrollo to like that one versus one battle. And also bring in that fight like right now, but bring in that fight like Zoka will be totally like eventually like be struggling to be able to do anything against that Chloro. Initially, I'm considering the Hisoka Chloro battle would be like intense, but like I'm considering as like the battle progresses eventually I'm going to only cutting. And during that like Kurapika would be extremely cross with Hisoka for like integrating into that Kurapika attempt to take a lot of life. So like I was to bring Hisoka using this like super strength like I'm going to bring Hisoka totally maybe like threatening Kurapika and telling Kurapika that this is my fight and basically like Hisoka and Chloro will be like fighting it off and basically eventually I'm going to bring Chloro totally start like gains upper hand in like the fight against like Hisoka and basically eventually Chloro Hisoka starting to struggle against that Chloro and Chloro totally starting to like eventually or and Chloro that defeating like the program like the scenario that I was like by Kurapika would be like an extremely frustrated Kurapika would be like probably watching from the silent. So like considering scenario is Toro will like eventually foreign to and Toro will be able to protect the life of the Boka. But like at that last second would be when completely protecting like in an unfair manner like the Kurapika in that one versus one Toro versus Hisoka fight like Kurapika totally interfering and that day Kurapika totally saving Hisoka like the scenario that I'm considering and that will be like related to like Kurapika after even seeing like the fight between like Hisoka and Floro like even Kurapika might have not expected Floro to even though Kurapika might have not expected like as like the leader of the Japan group of Floro to be accepting his strong still even like Floro's like actual true strength would be even beyond that expectations of Kurapika especially at the Punjabi so Kurapika at that point was saving Hisoka and then there is also like an basically Korapka totally telling Hisoka that basically to let aside Hisoka's like huge ego and our confidence and basically that we need to team up and fight off against like Chloro if you want to bring down Chloro and that way like Hisoka getting that absolute reality check and basically Hisoka totally setting aside his ego, being forced to like set aside his ego and basically team up with like Korapika and basically and by then like Hisoka will be badly injured, get like a badly injured Hisoka and for Africa, the old team that we really fighting up against Netlo. And it would be only at that point that the different the Rio combined team attack of like South Africa and Fukuoka finally finally still struggling their way into like eventually being able to like bring down and defeat Cloros like the scenario that I'm different still. Even the Cloro will be defeated like I'm still Cloro still succeeding in like escaping. It's like the scenario that I'm very much. Also, like definitely my secondary direction like right now with like Chloro, like their leader like like the planet of Chloro also like missing and basically like with like Gon and Killua in like the current situation being like captured by the planet of I'm also saying right now like the planet of also like being Pakunoda like Nobunaga and like that other female kind of problem but Shizuku like all of them being like totally like extremely like kind of like frustrated and angry with like Gon and Killua and especially since like they would be seeing Flora as like such an important part as like the leader, they would be like only seeing Flora's presence as like that absolute strength of like the kind of capacity group and everything. So it's like Flora all of a sudden missing and like them like the kind of maybe bearing like the possibility of like due to like Ron and Killua teaming up with like the chain user like basically like the chain user possibly having basically the possibility of like law of even being in danger might be what the index the minds of like the panic problem. So like at that point them being like all extremely frustrated and angry with like Gon and Killua, like to capture Gon and Killua that time was different. Maybe like one of them like maybe it could be Pakunoda that time was different deciding to take the life of like Gon and Killua. But at time was different Pakunoda deciding to like start with like Killua and basically first time basically Pakunoda about to take the life of Killua in that dark. But like at that very last second will be when putting Silva as well as like Zeno to make their whole ultimate surprise entrance and that being like the ultimate twist and then delivering Kurapika might have coordinated with like Silva and Zeno. This would all be part of Kurapika's strategy to like perfectly so that like to ensure that Gon and Kindu and your and all of them would be like to ensure that safety even while they would be like fighting off against like the panic, especially when some of them are so like that's like the scenario that I'm going to Silva as well as then making the surprise and percent like surprisingly as like Paganaro will be able to take Kido's life like maybe likely most likely it will be like Silva that I'm preparing to precisely save Kidoa and then like I'm preparing like the actual fight begins and basically the team of like Leorio Bomb Kidoa as well as like Silva and Zeno versus like those Nobunaga Paganaro and I think like Watanabe and basically Shizuku and that other film and then that horse fight happening at that point is definitely the same, which like the theme of like eventually like them struggling their way into like because of like then of presence like would be like such a moral boost and basically would be of such an extreme help for like the team of Gon and Through to eventually for them to be able to like for and defeat like those the kind of presence versus the initial scenario that and the and my cousin Biryani. And especially with like Loro being like going missing, like and most likely definitely being captured by Kurapika, definitely I'm different. So right now they're prepping for like the darkness to like totally remain and basically like the whole fight to take place in that precise darkness. So like I'm different. Uh like also like the fact that like Zeno as well as like Silva are like such pro assassins like I'm different. They would like totally have great experience fighting in like darkness it's definitely my personal favorite. So like that as well giving that added advantage to the entertainment one and two with like Zeno and Silva at that point. Along fighting alongside them. It's like the and that way them eventually being able to like defeat like those kind of things. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm just only putting in my thinking to them. But okay, so like definitely my talking to them person right now and what like the mysteriousness that contains like the letter for partner. I'm also putting like that night to be perfectly thrown by perfectly Kurapika perfectly as she in that especially when it turned seven like especially as Kurapika was like Kurapika caught perfectly like Chrollo with like the chain jail and perfectly as Kurapika like pulled out like and took Chrollo away like using the chain jail and number Kurapika before like leaving the night of thrown with the knife containing the letter to be like a precise ultimate set for Parkinora precisely for Kurapika to and also to like ensure that Parkinora dies. It's definitely my belief to for them to be able to like take Parkinora like especially my preference. Especially because like of like because of like Kurapika around to my resistance because of like Kurapika according to her strategy that she would have discussed with like Gon and Killua, and like Kurapika might have totally told Gon and Killua that basically definitely even if they fight against like the final group in the darkness that they simply don't stand a chance and they will definitely be getting captured again. So like at that point like there will be a high chance of like Arkanota being with like being right beside you. So like I'm just think for Abigail told them that basically so to precisely prevent Falconer from being able to like read your memories and that way figure out about like the net conditional strategy and like as to like the precise logic as to like the precise conditions set by Kurapika and as to like the precise uh, logic as to like how the net conditional powers of Kurapika work basically the change and everything basically because like in the moment if like Pakunoda reads like finds out that about all that and gains all that knowledge about it Kurapika's power through like reading the memories of like Gon and Killua once like the final result will be capturing Don and Silva, then at that point like it will be game over. Will be what Kurapika and Gordon, Kurapika will totally think so like I'm thinking to totally avoid and prevent such a scenario. Precisely, Kurapika might have created this master plan by precisely abducting Chrollo, and in that precise letter, in that night, like precisely Kurapika might have totally left like the contents in that letter, like Kurapika might have left would be the what precisely for Pakunoda to like precisely show up to precise location that would be mentioned in that letter by Kurapika. And it could be also be mentioned that this is like the letter from me, the chain user, and basically in that letter, like Kurapika might have only detailed out the basically for like precisely Pakinoda alone to like show up to this precise exact location that would be mentioned there, and basically if like the final proof wants their both Floro back alive, then like especially Pakinoda would have to show to this exact location. So like and Pakunoda until then and Pakunoda should like forbid from like even daring to like basically read the memories of Don and Silva. This much might be what contained in that letter in that night, especially a person to remember. So Kurapika might have also written that basically I have spies all around you, and basically they are like stealthily observing you. So like don't even dare to like even act against the letter, and even like attempt to like basically stealthily even try to like read the memories of Bon and Kilua. That would be resulting in like straight away your boss like Chrollo straight away like the scenario is like would be like that threat contained in that certain letter left by Kurapika was definitely my person to mention. So precisely that way to like get Pakunoda to where to this precise exact location where like Kurapika might have already built up in that location that ultimate next trap set for precisely Pakunoda. And that way to like precisely for Kurapika to like ensure to like take Pakunoda's life as soon as possible. And that would be like from Kurapika's point of view as well, like that would be like the only way for Kurapika to be able to like bring down the final number would be what Kurapika would be thinking, because like Kurapika would be the only thing that even if Kurapika takes over of like let's say if Pakanoda the moment if like Pakanoda is gone and it was like memories like either gone or it was memories, then it would be game over for Kurapika as well as the team of Kurapika gone and Kidwa to ever be even be able to like bring down the final number. That needs my personal. Yeah, so like one possibility that I'm just about the talking about the parent question to believe that like basically like in that specific letter that Kurapika has basically like sent through like the night like basically in that letter like Kurapika possibly having like infused like the actual true sort of love and then conditional thing which like Floro had basically earlier talked about basically like Kurapika having like actually like learned that actual sort of law technique conditional technique, and basically the switch like Kurapika using might have infused that sort of law power into that first letter that basically the condition infused into that letter would be that like once like a person once like a person by the name Pakunoda touches this letter like basically and from that point on this letter like the then condition this letter would be like getting activated. So like my person the reference to be precisely intended to like precisely take part in like by Kurapika's technique, my person so the situation and the thing is basically what the strategy that Kurapika will be using would be like using the sort of law that really Kurapika might have infused into that letter. The moment Pakunoda might have touched that precise letter, the sort of law like a sort of law power might have gotten activated. So like my personal impression as for like the precise condition that led to Rafika using that sort of law might have totally been built into that letter might be that once like a person by the name Pakunoda touches this letter and basically once like after that like the that first person like disobeys disobeys like the content written in that precise letter, which would be like revealing of like the skull guy as well as like the chain jail powers of like Doratica and the chain use of powers of like Doratica to like the remaining kind of like if like Pakunoda even like even no matter like how much stealth like if Pakunoda does that like then the like sort of no condition will give that like straight away Pakunoda would be dying if Pakunoda breaks that condition. Definitely my personal image. And this will be something Pakunoda might have absolutely no idea of like to like a sort of no power existing within that say then powered ledger. This definitely my personal image. So like that like scenario that I'm basically putting like So like so particularly having that absolute confidence that basically by putting those two Talatai and basically the same use of powers like memories into that letter like Sorapika might have that way using her strategy might have made it like actually that much extremely tempting for like Pakunoda to basically want to like somehow still disobey the contents of that letter and basically reveal the truth about like Kurapika's power and how exactly Kurapika's power was to like to Pakunoda for remaining by the sequence. So like Kurapika will be totally betting on that that basically Pakunoda attempting to like stealthily reveal about like Kurapika's powers to like the remaining final group member. But like if so that like if Pakunoda even attempts such a thing like even before Pakunoda would be able to like even as Pakunoda will be then beginning to like say it itself like Pakunoda won't be able to like fully say it about like the moment Pakunoda would be even starting to like disobey the contents of that level and by trying to like reveal about like what appears power to like the remaining contents at that point itself like the sort of law condition will be getting activated and Pakunoda will be totally dying by the sort of law powers of that level. So like this is like the eventual scenario that I'm just like only for an temperature. So like this would be that ultimate trap set for like Pakunoda by Rapka to facilitate Pakunoda's life. It's definitely my personal theory and position. So and that exactly for to happen as well. It's definitely my personal essentially like Pakunoda like the absolute self trying to like get the information to maybe even one of like to I think like one of the plans for me, but like about the right then like Pakunoda to totally like die on that very spot without trying without even being able to reveal anything much at all about like Kurapika's power. Like even before that like the sort of law taking Pakunoda like this like the scenario that I was going to bring another okay, so like that name is very interesting right now. As for Pakunoda right now being totally confused as to as for like Chrollo taking the decision to like head to the suicide hotel only an hour ago and still saying you something and to organize such a counter at the organized counter attack. Like there was the impression that Pakunoda would be naively forgetting the fact that even through like the portion poem that Chrollo has read of like Jerry Hisoka basically, it was even back then itself revealed that basically Hisoka has been like secretly phoning for Afia, even though no matter even though the explanation that all of us has given was like the explanation of like the logic of like the phone law and everything, and that way like for Afia blackmailing Hisoka had to basically and forcing Hisoka to like phone for Afia and all that. Still, that it was like at that point evident that basically through like the fortune point that when Hisoka was contacting like for Africa of exchanges or at that point itself. Definitely never forget. So like Baganada would be naive forgetting the fact that yes, we of like the possibility that basically Hisoka having contacted and revealed about like their plan to like precisely track down the chain user precisely using like the Charlotte I precisely the at the moment they found out that like the chain user is like basically chain user have contains like the when they get the point that when they decided to basically track down the chain user using like the origin scarlet eye in terms of the like at that point itself it's about to get like it's having formed and made like the chain user aware of like basically the kind of group eventually tracking down like the chain user using like the fake scarlet eye might like basically that would be something that might have happened and basically Hisoka might have already even beforehand itself they might have precisely want the chain user and support to affect that chain user only using that fixed tablet type to precisely track like the kind of probe and that way to like throw the kind of probe to this precise portal might have been what might have happened. Basically like the that's the reason for Pakunoda would be totally naive that basically that Pakunoda might have been forgetting, might be like forgetting of like a relevant person, hence why Pakunoda currently would be totally confused as that way totally and solely due to maybe solely due to like Pakunoda's lack of critical thinking or like analyzing skills that Pakunoda would be right now thinking would be confused about hence while thinking along the lines of like the changes or able like perfectly coordinate and orchestrate such a perfect like ambush attack on like the almost perfect ambush attack on like the fan so within just like the span of like just a single hour. It's definitely my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression right now as for like Barcelona right now. especially right now thinking of like the teachings of Chrollo, where Chrollo had taught them that basically according to the situation like the head of like the spider is would be less important than even the legs of like spiders. And considering like this Pakunoda right now, even thinking on that like a move developing would be eventually leading to Pakunoda totally like taking the decision to have like Chrollo die at the cost of like Pakunoda attempting to like reveal like the truth of like that content in that letter. And I'm considering that letter that for us that letter with like that might have definitely contained like in which like current type as well as changes of what's written like it would definitely be an empowered letter that Kurapika might have created, which might definitely contain like the precise information about like Kurapika being like the sole survivor of it, the Parkland, and the fact that Kurapika is like seeking vengeance and revenge for like the fan group for like for like eliminating like the Parkland. That information definitely would be like present within that letter, as well as also like the information about like the chain user, like the fact that Kurapika is like the chain user as well as like Kurapika on top of having started as like Kurapika is like the chain user and basically as to like how exactly in detail as to like how exactly Kurapika is like chain chain jail and all of like Kurapika's powers like as to like the detailed out like, information as to like how Kurapika's like chain powers even their friend has to like how exactly Kurapika was even able to like defeat Wogan, like all that information and detail would be precisely present within that letter, but not through words, but through like an infused manner. Just like that then infused all that information contained within just these just those two letters, like the Charity as well as like the chain user. These two words that's contained within that letter would be like containing all that information that will be infused into that and like coupling with all that information like it will be also sealed with like the ultimate trap of like the sword of law by Kurapika. This will be like Kurapika's ultimate strategical plan to like totally that way firstly assassinate and take the life of Pakunoda. That's definitely my personal impression. So like right now my personal impression is like Pakunoda thinking of all those teaching of Floro where like Floro himself has told them that basically got the situation like the head of like the spider could even end up being less important than the limbs of like the spider. So like basically I'm considering right now Pakunoda taking that decision which like Pakunoda would be totally thinking it like a bold decision and because like according to Pakunoda would be right now thinking that basically keeping this such an extremely tempting and such a crucial information hidden from like the remaining Phantom Force members would might just solely to like save Floro might result in not just Floro dying, but like the entirety of like, the Phantom Troop being assassinated and taken down by the chain user. Would be along the line, Pakunoda would be right now thinking, definitely my new thing. So like in order to prevent like the complete elimination and destruction of the Phantom Troop, but to bring Pakunoda right now taking the decision according to Floro's distant past teaching like Pakunoda remembering that and like taking what Pakunoda would be dealing with as like the bold decision to basically let Chrollo die at the cost of like revealing the truth about like Kurapika, truth about like all the information contained about like Kurapika that like basically that Pakunoda have came through after like touching that precise and empowered definitely about the relation. Sadly, like I'm still thinking about the relation that like that exactly happening and basically Pakunoda shouting out and trying to like reveal all that information about like Kurapika to like Nobunaga and all the other final group members. But like precisely as like Pakunoda would be attempting to do that, like precisely Pakunoda would be about to like shout and would be starting to say like the very first few words itself, like about to bring like the sword of law getting activated and like the its effect kicking in and then you straight away. Kurapika would definitely have infused that sort of law into that precisely that that sort that basically once Pakunoda the main Pakunoda touches this letter and basically then it's like from that point on it's like that person Pakunoda disobeys defies like the defies what's written in this letter then like that Pakunoda person should die. Like that would be like the sort of love condition that might be present within that precise letter, which like Pakunoda, while being totally unaware of it, like totally trying to like shout out and let the other panel crew members know, and that like essentially due to like that activating like the sort of law Pakunoda dying on the spot is like definite scenario right now that emphasis on the thing in my considering. This would be precisely how Sorapika according to master strategy would be like probably planning right of setup her strategy to like take out like such as crucial and important kind of person but like Pakunoda, which definitely my personal so like Pakunoda dying in such a manner without being able to like get like all the information contained within that less about everything about like Kurapika and like changes or like basically to like kind of remember like Pakunoda not being able to get all that information to them and like and to like die without even being able to like do that. It's like the scenario that I'm talking about like I'm not talking about. Okay, so like looking into the generation right now, I saw like according to like Pakunoda, like watching point from like I think like last week, like basically like the God of Death it's mentioned like basically would be like even the Pakunoda right now with the thing that like the God of Death you see like either gone or killed or like in actually I don't know the questions that the God of Death that Pakunoda person poem will be referring to will be precisely that precise letter itself. It's definitely that so that precise the letter that precise what has brought it. It's definitely my those random sense because of my those random sense that I'm still thinking on those that basically that letters definitely containing like the sort of law or basically some sort of a non condition which would be like precisely would be how it would be working would be exactly like how like the different it would be like so the after Pakunoda touches that letter like basically like the non condition might have got activated so like at that point like the condition would be like that person by the name Pakunoda can reveal like about like Sorapika's like details and proof to like the remaining kind of proofs and stuff like that would be like the condition if broken like Pakunoda would be instantly dying and hence why like there would be that end condition or like that sort of your infused into that letter and hence why like that to give that right letter that would be like the Pakunoda's source poem which you're referring to as like the god of death. It's definitely my person to be impression. So like and those it might be mention that for like that something going on Pakunoda even referring to like Pakunoda, especially being forced to like choose between like pride as well as pride or betrayal, while that's precise god of death would be like approaching Pakunoda side, like precisely it would mean like basically through this letter, like precisely as like the current situation of Pakunoda was like Pakunoda got this like precise letter through the sword, like and basically straight away Pakunoda thinking of like that precise thought of like basically what Chrollo had taught Pakunoda from like and for many kind of responsible and like different tasks like and basically in like the current situation like the pride would be basically so like make us into rememberations that like the pride that Pakunoda like Boston poem would be like referring to be precisely Pakunoda totally listening and acting according to like Chrollo's teaching from like the task and basically like that way that like at the cost of like Cloro dying, like basically reading like Gon and Kilo's memories and basically revealing it to like the remaining family group members. Like, but like the precise reason which would be like referring to as like so the book for the poem as like right will be precisely because Pakunoda on thinking of like the reasons of Cloro, like basically Pakunoda right now will be thinking of like the possibility that like so if Cloro dies like then Pakunoda most likely being like the next leader of like the fandom. So like that way Pakunoda getting the opportunity to like and getting the powerful position to like lead like the fandom so as she pleases like basically Pakunoda getting to would be seeing that as like a huge achievement for Pakunoda. And like that there will be like that involvement of pride in that like basically Pakunoda will also like this seriously right now also be tempted to like this feel deep down might even be tempted and Pakunoda might have been so loyal to like Roloff and like the fan of group that basically Pakunoda might have never expected like such a situation in her life to like happen right now that basically once the situation has arisen, like basically Pakunoda might have gotten tempted at the possibility that like Pakunoda could like probably be the leader of like this kind of growth group and lead the kind of group exactly as he pleases. So like that would be the tempting right now, tempting offer like thing offer like feeling for like Pakunoda right now that basically Pakunoda prioritizing pride and basically in the name of like basically listening to like floor of teaching in the burning actually like it would be solely a pattern of pride and basically that way Pakunoda taking the path of pride and basically letting Chrollo die so that like Pakunoda would be totally forced. And that way like Pakunoda reading Donatello's memories and revealing it to like the final group, remaining final group members, and that way letting Chrollo die so that like Pakunoda rightfully would be hoping that she could be like the next leader of like the final group. This would be the path of pride, and like the path of betrayal would be like Pakunoda not listening to like Chrollo's teaching, and basically Pakunoda basically betraying Chloro, by betraying like Chloro's teaching that Chloro had in like the past, different paths had given to like the band group, and basically Pakunoda, even when currently the situation is exactly right for like Pakunoda to like totally prioritize like the limb of like the band group has more importance than like the head role of like the fight of like the band group. Like basically even then like Pakunoda still prioritizing like going against like the role of speech, and that way betraying Chloro and still prioritizing the head of Chloro of like the fandom group. And that would be like the what was the first poem was like Pakunoda would be referring to as like Pakunoda like having been betrayed. So like this would be just to pride on this situation of Pakunoda where like Pakunoda will have to be forced like choose between like pride and betrayal. So this is exactly the exercise like the that goal that will be like approaching, slowly approaching Pakunoda will be exactly this exact situation. And it's definitely not talking to the impression. Okay, so let's definitely not talking to the impression right now. That like even though Pakunoda right now is like probably feeling relief since so at the time like Pakunoda 14 point much early for like the next week. Like I'm preparing still for definitely for like Pakunoda 14 point coming exactly true, being eventually ending up being exactly true, and I'm preparing so precisely for it to be true. Like I'm preparing like the scenario that would be getting played out, and my personal revenge is that like basically without much delay I'm preparing that maybe like right now it's exactly like for capacity had abducted like Chrollo from the dark room and preparing like Kurapika possibly once again like maybe according to that Kurapika's master plan and strategy that Kurapika had created with like Gon and Kilo and preparing that maybe it would be in the Oreo or like in the darkness or like Amber to be once again Gon and Kilo as well, like once again still like creating some sort of like an absolutely unexpected distraction like the dark, which would be precisely like the process opening through which like precisely Amber to bring Kurapika using her change in like once again swiftly like attacking Pakunoda this time and basically taking Pakunoda away as well this time. And Kurapika totally getting away, but considering in like getting away is also like the scenario that I told about. So like I'm also bring then for like since like that day is waiting this Saturday like usually the next whole Sunday as well as to totally go by and still with like the remaining panel group members like but like even then like the those remaining panel group members will be totally having gone and Kilwa in by that side as like for station. But still at the same time for like the chain user will be having those Floro as well as like Pakunoda as like first stage. Like the scenario that I'm going to predict. So like I'm going to predict eventually for like the showdown fight will like precisely happen precisely on Monday. Definitely my precisely when online I'm preparing like the showdown fight event begin because like I'm preparing after Kurapika will be affecting Chrollo as well as like background I'm preparing like Kurapika totally playing the next part of the strategy set for like the remaining panel of members, and through that track like Kurapika will be ensuring that like those remaining panel of members will be eventually coming to some precise location where like Kurapika will be like totally planning on, and Kurapika and the different Kurapika might have even Uzoka might have secretly phoned and told Kurapika about like the fortune point of that Chrollo made for like everyone and all that. So like I'm also covering Kurapika by now would be well and fully aware of like the content of like, the fortune point, and so like Kurapika possibly thinking that basically in order for like the content of the working poem to end up being true, like basically it needs to like it should be like next week, like so I need to make it to next week for like before like actually seriously fighting like the final group for like the working poem content to end up being true. to be along the lines for Africa would be thinking it's also like a possibility that so anyway like the eventual scenario that I'm also talking it will be precisely like after like abducting for Africa would be like for like the James or be abducting Chrollo as well as Pakunoda and also suffering and getting away and also suffering like by the time the remaining fandom members will be like uh, and then like suddenly being stealthily lured to the perfect some sort of like a perfect different location set up by for Africa and there I'm also suffering the fight to take place and there I'm totally definitely protecting the flag once again, like for again waiting all sorts of stealth. And I'm also bring up that fight for the progressing that fight will be most likely taking place either on Monday or like during like Sunday night. So like I'm also during this Sunday night, then as that fight will be progressing, like basically eventually I'm also protecting Pakunoda totally getting freed, Pakunoda and Chrollo getting freed, and I'm also protecting like during that fight, like and I'm also protecting Pakunoda at that point, like basically precisely like choosing pride and really precisely trying to like reveal to like follow about like basically the contents of like the 14 poem especially my personal impression. So because the contents of not the 14 poem but like the contents of like the and at that time I was working for like partner was totally reveal like basically all over be definitely beside partner and at that point I was becoming partner to like totally quickly like reveal the exact trying to like reveal how like Kurapika or like the changes of like powers works like they need to follow but like like Pakunoda would be attempting to do that like Pakunoda dying is like the like the sort of law or like the end condition would be like present in that letter like that getting activated and Pakunoda dying is like the scenario that I'm going to do. So like I'm considering before even Pakunoda will be getting abducted on and I'm considering like that totally happening due to like the fight taking place on a Sunday and basically Sunday night and I'm considering by the time Pakunoda would be attempting to like reveal that the content of like the truth about like Sorapika's powers to like the fandom of like and like at that point like it would have like turned 12 o'clock. So like the next day would have begun. So like that way like the next week beginning and basically that way like right then itself like the contents of like, the option point for like Pakunoda end up being like true and satisfied and basically that way Pakunoda died by choosing pride. It could be like and my personal impression definitely is that it would be through Pakunoda choosing not betrayal, but through Pakunoda choosing the path of pride that Pakunoda would be die definitely. Also, like the window scenarios that I'm going to bring in the direction. So, like, if it is for this to happen, definitely my personal impression is that, like, the scenario that I'm preparing right now is that basically, then before Pakunoda will be getting abducted by Korapi campus, they're only putting Pakunoda totally like feeling kind of like or confident thing is that basically since it's only that way like Pakunoda would be totally feeling a bit of confident and the different Pakunoda deciding to like complete gone as well as Killers memories. It's definitely the scenario that I'm probably only for things. And my personal impression that Pakunoda only reading fully reading gone and Killers memory and fully gaining like the knowledge for that knowledge and basically, like that way, Pakunoda shockingly realizing how exactly Kurapika's powers works and basically about like Kurapika being like source of by the planet, all that details and like it will look firstly right then it's to Pakunoda as like Pakunoda would be about to like reveal it to like the remaining channel members like I'm going to bring like even before that is especially after like Pakunoda would be done would be like especially done almost fully done like reading like the memories of Gona Kilwa right then and but to would be when especially for Apika once again in this striking of change in like the darkness and basically and right then itself like some sort Leo might create some sort of instruction of that way like basically for Apika right then itself succeeding in like abducting Pakunoda before Pakunoda we would be able to like reveal like the truth about like for Apika's powers to like the remaining time to understand that way for Apika succeeding in like getting away once again it's like the scenarios that I'm just and my personal okay, so like definitely my consider interesting right now, and like even though that the first path that Pakunoda right now has chosen to select the path of betrayal. Right now, I'm personally putting still I'm personally putting eventually Pakunoda still not being able to like keep up that path of betrayal. It's definitely my personal and eventually Pakunoda like only like that he is and silent and staying silent and those things that would like create that extreme disturbance and frustration with like Pakunoda that basically like Pakunoda simply can't reveal about like South Africa, about like the changes of the like alternate and such and like it will be like prone too much for like Pakunoda, all throughout Sunday as well, to the point when I'm delivering eventually to that it will be precisely when like it's like it will be Sunday night that will be precisely when it turns like 12, like without much delay after like it turning 12 and it being like the very beginning of like the next week. At that point, it's just like Pakunoda will be like totally bursting out and really revealing about like South Africa's powers to the remaining panel from the fans. That way, Pakunoda at that point will be moving from the trail with like a path of pride and straight away dying with like a zone of law and condition being activated at that point. It's like definitely not the so like I'm just referring to about this one. So it's basically for Africa by now, or they knowing about like Floros like fortune foil. Like basically through his workout, it's cloning and probably making South Africa aware of like the fortune poem and like Chrollo and basically Korapika by now having decoded perfectly decoded it. So like Korapika basically waiting for to precisely properly strike like the fan strike down like the fan and proof precisely when it's like next week. It's definitely not a difference. So like in order to do that, Korapika will be having that extreme importance to like start time until like since like the current days like the appetite Korapika will be having that absolute high priority to like start time until like it weeks like one start time until like one more day passes, like Sunday as well passes, so that like precisely to strike as it's like 12 o'clock Sunday night. This definitely would be precisely like for because plan is like my personal for personal theory and version as for like a possibility that I'm talking about. So like until then, for Africa's like highest priority would be like starting time, but as well as like ensuring that basically the current six or like five of six panel of members like with like Machi, like Pakunoda, the team of Machi, Pakunoda, Nobunaga, and all of them, like basically ensuring that like those fandom groups split up between like the for get like a to ensure that like the split up to sections of like the total fandom group members like with them in like the current situation being split up like uh, to ensure that like Nobunaga's group doesn't meet up with like the group of things like basically, this would be of extremely high priority for South Africa. So like to ensure, so especially because the panel group as like a group, as when they are all together, they will be like impossible to like defeat and bring down for South Africa. One thing that South Africa will be absolutely fully aware of. So like South Africa's current target will be potentially to like bring down this like current team of like Nobunaga and through it's definitely my personal dream. So like in order to do that, South Africa would have to like ensure that basically these group of that the fandom group of like Nobunaga and Crow doesn't meet up with like the group of fandom group of like Prince and Crow. So it's definitely not open the room. So like not to like ensure that like I'm bring Korapka still playing games with that absolute step using like Gendry and everyone like Korapka totally taking that absolute advantage of like the Nobunaga and Chiro by precisely constantly keeping on surprising them was like taking like closer like especially like Taurus of precious to like the Korapika went or like like Taurus like the leader of such a time so like the definitely uh Nobunaga's proof to be definitely like finding him like extremely precious to even those definitely my looking for and like them totally like according to precisely Korapika's strategy and track would be like what Korapika was getting and delivering that to exactly happen and Korapika will definitely succeed in that strategy like the scenario that I'm looking for. So like exactly by keeping on repeatedly blackmailing like Nobunaga through with like them with Sorapika taking the life of like Laura, if like they even try to like meet up with like Sims and the others like this along this lines like basically it's just approximately along this lines that I'm looking for. Anyway, Sorapika ensuring that basically like Nobunaga Pro doesn't meet up with like Sims and like his throw of like the remaining panel of members. So the one thing that Sorapika would be basically ensuring through the repeated blackmailing of like taking the role of life. It's definitely my personal theory and pressure. And that way, like on top of like keeping them splitted and on top of that, like storing time until like precisely Sorapika, like precisely striking precisely when it's like at least either when it's like precisely 12 o'clock on Sunday night or like when it's like so close to like 12 o'clock on Sunday night would be when opportunity only protect for traffic to strike safely and for up your safely striking at like the group of like no going through. It's definitely the scenario that I'm only putting in my person to gamers.